back to Traveling with Tortoise. I'm Jacob. My wife Jenna is back at home. I'm running to the store right now. This video here is going to be about a little bit about the channel, some more about us, and more about our last experience at JP Colman State Park. I am recording with two cameras right now. I'm testing out my new one. It's a point and shoot. I'm trying to get new equipment when I can. You know, we're just starting off here, so when I have a little bit extra cash through work, I try to get another camera. You might hear some road noise through one of the cameras and not through the other, but we're gonna give this a shot while I'm driving into Walmart here to pick up some groceries so I can go back to work. My wife and I drive truck together. I know I've said that before, but you know, it's just for the new people, I guess they say. Let's start off with the first experience here. This is God, I say a lot. Anyways, this is our experience that we had at JP Colman State Park. It was fun. We had a good time for the most part. My last video ended in kind of just a stop. It's because I ran out of footage, and I didn't know what to add, what not to add. You know, I kind of did the best I could with what I had. So the campsite, the campground was great. I love JP Colman. It's beautiful. The water's beautiful. There's awesome scenery. For the most part, the campsites are very good. If you got up there where I was in spot 60 or 61, my wife's mother was in 61 and we were in 60, or vice versa. They were up on a hill and they kind of leaned real bad to the left, so it was super hard to get level. And on our campsite there was a huge drop off, and if you had kids or elderly parents or something like that to come visit you, or you were elderly yourself, that's not kosher. There's no railing there, there's no nothing, there's just a drop off. Some of their other sites, if you watch some of their other videos on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that, you'll see some people talk about there's some other sites that have a pretty hefty drop off. Most of those sites have railings put up on them now. Ours didn't. And I tell you what, when we first got there, the first night we were tired, we set up real quick. The second day we renegotiated our camper a little bit, so it was a little better, and kind of got it sitting a lot flatter than it was the first night. If you got in there after the first night, it looked like you were climbing up a hill, just even walking in the camper. So it was tough, but we got it flattened out a little better, and it wasn't too bad for us because we're a younger couple. It was easier for us to get out. But if my wife's mother come down and visit us from her campsite, we had to watch her to make sure she wouldn't fall down the hill. For the most part, like it was kind of, you know, pretty good steep angle. So I wasn't impressed by the campsite that we were in. Now I did take a walk around and look at the other campsites, and a lot of the other campsites were perfect. Like, they were flat-ish. You know, it's a state park, so you know, you can do what you can do. They were flattish, and they were a lot easier to get in and out of. They were a lot easier for elderly folks and young children. There's, you know, there's playgrounds there. There's all sorts of stuff there. And the other section that was a lot nicer. Now the atmosphere, for the most part, in my opinion, was iffy, right? So, and what I mean by that is, trying to say this respectfully and whatnot, but you have some guys there, some families that go up there, that's where they camp 6 months out of the year. I mean, they've got their site, they pay for it, and that's where they're sitting. And it's a lot of the water sites, and it's like they think they own the campground, right? So they are very standoffish. They won't, like, you know, my wife and I drive around, we wave at you, hey, how's it going? You know, trying to be friendly, this, that, and everything else. And nothing. They just give you a smug look and look at you funny, like, what the hell you doing waving at me? And it just kind of ruined the atmosphere. You know, talking to other campers and saying, hey, how's it going? Like, there's an older gentleman that pulled in the same night we did with his camper, and he wouldn't even walk up to the people next to him to ask them where you're supposed to check in at. He come all the way up the hill and asked me, because he had the same vibe that I had from them, where they were just kind of very standoffish. They didn't want you there if they didn't know who you were. If you weren't friends or family, they didn't want you there. And that's, I think a campground could do a better job at that, of kind of not allowing people like that to stay there at extended times. I understand they paid for their campgrounds, but you got to realize you don't own the campground, right? It's everybody's. So I don't know. Like, my wife and I and her mother, and we went down and went fishing down by one of the docks down there. And as soon as we threw our lines in, within 10 minutes, these people don't, like, they have a schedule. They go out in the morning fishing, and then they go out in the late afternoon around 4 or 5 o'clock to pick up their jugs for catfish. And they all of a sudden magically started bringing their boats down there and launching their boats and stuff like that. And these people have been sitting there around all day not doing anything, but they just now, as soon as we went down there fishing, started launching their boats and racing them around. It's kind of shitty, for, excuse my language, but it is. I don't, not a fan of that, you know. So we kind of stayed to ourselves up in our little campsite, and you see a couple photos in the last video. We rented a boat, and a pontoon boat, and had a great time. We were out on the water from like 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock at night. We just enjoyed ourselves and went fishing and drove around, and went to a place called Goat Island out there where there's actual goats, which was kind of cool. My mother-in-law has been living in Mississippi pretty much her whole life, and she's been out there a bunch and had never seen the goats on Goat Island, so she was able to experience that for her first time, which was really, really cool. So for the most part, I'm gonna say 80% of our camping trip was great. You know, we had a real good time. We had great meals, you know, and spending time with family. It was fantastic. My mother and father came up for a day, and it was fantastic. But that 20% can ruin a whole entire campsite and a campground for people. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't think about that, but you could have an awesome experience 80% of the time, but 20% will ruin your entire experience. And it's crazy to think that way, but it can't. You know, you could have a fantastic vacation and then get sick at the end and for the last day, and it'll ruin your entire vacation. So I didn't enjoy the mentality that there was there, the confrontational type. You just felt very confrontational while you were there, you know, like they were wanting you to do something that they could bitch about type thing. It wasn't good. So in that aspect of it, you know, it is what it is. But JP Colman State Park is a beautiful place. Don't take that 20% of my negative experience and let it ruin the whole entire experience for you if you have boats. It's a great place to camp. It's a great place to store your boat because they do have a marina there. It's fantastic for all that. So check it out, you know, and stay away from Site 60 and 61, and I think you'd have a good experience. So check it out, experience it. Will I go back is the main question that my wife and I keep asking ourselves, and we're not sure yet. We have to go and think about it, talk about it. We'll do that at work, you know, because we work together. We'll talk about it, and if we ever want to go back up there into that campground again. Right now it's up in the air. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Share, like, comment, tell a friend. Let's get us to 1 million viewers and 1 million followers. A guy can dream, right? So thanks for watching. Y'all be safe, you be careful, and come back and see us again. Thank you.